I wanted to warn everyone that a lot of frauds are happening in my name. You might have come across these ads on Facebook or Instagram, and these fraudsters are using my name and my photograph without my permission. Please don't fall prey to these fraudsters. They might ask you for money, they might say that we will give you some investment advice, they might say that we will give you some stock tips. Please be sure of the fact that I don't give any stock tips, I don't provide any investment advice. My thought process is very simple: to educate and to empower people, right? Many people are also requesting others to join into some WhatsApp group. I don't have any WhatsApp group. I have only one WhatsApp community for my English channel and one WhatsApp community for my Marathi channel. The links of these communities are there in the description box, and both have a verified tick. So please don't fall prey to these fraudsters and spread the word as well. Hey folks, see Rachana Ranade here, and I welcome you all to a very important video wherein we are going to discuss about a stock and why is it in news of late. It is a stock which is favorite for so many investors, and the name of the stock is ITC. But not only investors, it is of course the favorite stock of memers. And there have been so many memes around this stock. I have read, I'm sure, at least more than 100 150 memes about this, but my personal favorite is this one. पेशेंस लेवल कितना है सर? इन्वेस्टर इन आईटीसी सैलरी कितना लोगे? क्या बात है? आई थिंक द थ्री इडियट्स scene has been given a totally different investor angle in this one, but I think the stock actually asked people to shut their mouth when it gave a 75% return in a period of 1 year starting March 22 to March 23. But this stock has been in news of late because of BAT. अगं हे नाही BAT काही, हे पण नाही. ऋषीज, BAT is the name of the company. Logo दे रे. This. Okay. We are going to discuss about this in the next section of the video. So let's understand about the news of BAT. That is nothing but British American Tobacco. Okay. Now this company held almost 29% stake of ITC, and that was valued at 1.5 lakh crore. And on 13th March 2024, this company BAT, which is like one of the biggest shareholders of ITC, they sold 3.5% stake in ITC Limited, and they sold it in the open market at a price of 400 rupees 25 paisa. Around 43 crore shares aggregating to 17,485 crores were sold in the open market. Okay. Now, first of all, we need to understand that whenever such a huge supply means what? Almost 43 crore shares. How much do we buy? 43 shares. Correct, of one company. They have sold 43 crore shares. Okay. If there is such a huge supply of any specific stock in the market, what do you feel? Basic economics: supply is more, demand is more or less similar. In that case, ideally, price should fall, right? But what happened instead of that, on 13th March, in fact, the price, I mean, the stock showed a gap up opening, and also it has closed almost 4.45% higher as compared to the previous day. Okay. Now, in spite of such a huge supply, why did this happen was the big question, right? So, for that, when I tried to understand what could be the reason, we found out that BAT is one of the strategic investors or key investors. Means, what do I mean by that? See, BAT has been the investor in ITC since inception almost. So they have been invested in ITC for almost 100 years now. Okay. So what do you feel? Whatever shares BAT had, were they freely available for trading? Answer is no. They were not freely available for trading. They had it with themselves. Will this be counted in the market capitalization of ITC? Yes. But will this be counted in free float market capitalization of ITC? Answer is no. This point is clear. This is a very important point. Typically, free float market capitalization is nothing but total market capitalization minus whatever number of shares multiplied by its price, obviously, is not freely available for trading. What could be the examples? Whatever stake promoter has held, that is not freely available for trading. Whatever stake any strategic investor has held, that is not freely available for trading. Shares which are locked in, they are not freely available for trading. These are some examples, right? So they are not counted in the free float market capitalization. When BAT sold these shares, so now you can imagine what happened. Free float of ITC in fact increased. Simple till here. Now you might be like, why am I giving so much importance to free float market capitalization as increase in case of ITC? Because ITC is a part of Nifty. I'll be like, so, well, Nifty's calculation is not based on market capitalization, it's based on free float market capitalization. And that is the reason why ITC's weightage in Nifty will increase to some extent. If that be so, index funds, basically passive index funds, they are definitely going to buy ITC. So whatever is going to be the supply, that is going to be absorbed by these index funds at least. Other than index funds, or specifically talking about these fund houses who may buy, do we already know few fund houses who have already bought these shares? Yes. When BAT sold the shares, almost 9.2 crore shares of ITC were bought by GIC Singapore, and almost 12.4 crore shares were bought by ICICI Prudential. Both were, I mean, there were multiple block deals, but these two I thought were one of the bigger ones, so that is why I thought of telling this to you. So I hope you have understood. All in all, now to sum up this entire news, number one, was there a supply of shares? Yes. Would that be otherwise considered as a bad news? Yes. But number three, was this absorbed very nicely? Yes, majorly by DIS and FIS. Okay. And number four, because this led to an increase in free float market capitalization for ITC, that was also taken as a positive news. Now, the next question that pops up in our mind is, why could have BAT sold their stake? Okay. Now, when I try to analyze the chart of BAT, that's how it looks like. And if you see here, the stock price has gone back to 2010 levels right now. Correct. Now, ideally, company needs to boost the investors' confidence in such cases. And one of the tool could be announcing a buyback. Okay. Now, if they were to announce a buyback, then obviously they need a lot of money. And this money could have been raised through what? By selling the stake in ITC. Just to give you one point about this, it was mentioned in the news that BAT plans to use the proceeds from ITC stake sale to buy back its own shares worth GBP 1.6 billion. 1.6 billion rupees, nahi, 1.6 billion GBP over a period ending December 2025, starting with GBP 700 million in 2024. So I hope you have understood that what could have been the reason why BAT sold stake in ITC. It has got nothing to do with the fundamentals of ITC. It is to fund a requirement which BAT had. Now let's understand about one more news which was so much discussed about regarding ITC, which was about the demerger of its hotel business. This is a news back which dates back to 2023, but still I think this is also important for us to quickly discuss about this. It is expected that the demerged business of hotel is expected to list on the stock exchange around November 2024. Now you might be like, "Arey, recently also we heard about some demerger news that was about Tata Motors." And it was mentioned that the PV and EV is going to be separated from the CVs, from the commercial vehicles, right? Now, what happens when such demergers happen? Number one, investors who believe in a specific theme, they get an additional investment opportunity to invest in a specific focused theme. For example, if I'm talking about ITC, and if I feel that ITC hotels is really doing very well, and because I want to own a part of ITC hotels, I will have to buy ITC ka share. But now if I'm given a choice that ITC hotel ka share you will get separately, I would definitely want to invest only in that business. So from an investor perspective, I get an option. Okay. From a company perspective, what happens is that because when they demerge businesses, they can focus better on each and every single business. If the focus is clear, the performance improves. The moment performance improves, it shows up in the financials. And in fact, many experts believe that after ITC's demerger, when the hotel business is set aside, ITC's ROCE, that is return on capital employed, and also ROIC, both are expected to increase by almost 10%. So I think it's going to be a win-win for even investors as well as the company. So I hope we have understood about this news in short. So in this section of the video, which is the last section, we are going to understand about the business model in absolute brief, because I'm sure everyone knows what ITC does. But we are also going to understand the QOQ and YOY performance quickly based only on two parameters. One is revenue and one is profitability. And number three, very important, we are going to talk, or we are going to really analyze whether this statement holds true. What is the statement? The statement is that many people believe that ITC is wanting to move away from cigarettes business. They're moving away from cigarette to a non-cigarette business. Whether that is happening, we'll try and understand the trend over the last 5 years. So all these three things we're going to cover in this specific section. So first, let's quickly get started with five major business verticals. The very first one is cigarettes. Everyone knows that. Second one is FMCG as a business vertical. And the moment I use examples like Sunfeast, Ashirwad Atta, Bingo, Classmate, everyone is aware about these brands, right? All belong to ITC and all are under the same business vertical of FMCG, right? If I'm talking about hotels, ITC Hotel, everyone knows, a pretty famous five-star hotel chain, and they also have one more chain which is called as Welcome Hotel. Fourth one is agribusiness, and ITC's agribusiness is the country's second largest exporter of agri products. Products like wheat flour, rice, coffee, all these are what are exported by this company. And last one is paper boards, paper and packaging. This is not a very big division of the company, but आता पुठ्ठ्याला काय म्हणतात काय माहिती इंग्रजीत, कार्डबोर्ड, बरोबर ना, कार्डबोर्ड पुठ्ठा. So that is what can be considered under this segment of paperboard, paper and packaging. Okay, so just quick brief details about what does the company do. With this now, let's go on to the QOQ and YOY performance. So first, have a look at this. Now if you see segment revenue, only we are talking about the revenue right now on a QOQ basis, be it cigarettes, be it others, be it agri, be all these three all are in negative. Okay, paperboard packaging is barely in positive 0.5%. Biggest positive is hotel with 29.74% growth QOQ, but I don't think this has to be even considered. Why? Q3 is always better as compared to Q2 because hotels is a cyclical business. In Q3 we'll have holidays like Diwali, Christmas, and that is when typically people love to travel, and typically hotels business does see a surge in this. So not a very relevant data for analysis per se. Let's understand about the profitability. Have a look at this. As far as PBT is concerned, be it again cigarettes, others, agri, paperboard, everywhere QOQ there is a degrowth. I mean, you can see negative numbers, right? But hotels 82.54%. Again, you know the reason why, seasonal zyada hai, right? Now let's understand the YOY performance. This is also important. On a YOY basis, be it's almost positive. If you see cigarettes 3.58% positive, FMCG others 7.6%, hotels 18.26%. Good. Now this is YOY. Seasonality is gone here, right? If you see agri is just minus 2% downturn, and paperboards packaging is almost 9.76% down. So this is only one area where on a YOY we see almost a 10% negative growth. If I'm talking about PBT will see our cigarettes a shade higher with 2.3%, FMCG 24.14% growth YOY, hotels fantastic 57.53% growth YOY, agri and paperboard again both in negative with 13.3% and 51.16% respectively. So all in all, if you ask me, finances are not looking like super duper hit. Average above average is what I can see. Let's see how the performance of the company is seen post demerger. I would be really happy to see that as well. But now let's try and focus on the point of whether they are really shifting from cigarette business to non-cigarette business or not. And for that, we'll have a look at a 5-year snapshot. So if you see here, you'll understand the first one is FMCG cigarettes, right? Now, how much is the overall revenue? If you see here, back in Q3 FY20, the revenue was 5,311 crores, which was contributing to what? 41.41% of the total revenue. Now, if I come to Q3 FY24, from 41.41%, it has just gone down to 40.29%. So, over last 5 years, their revenue contribution, cigarettes ka revenue contribution has gone down barely by 1%, 1 point something. Now, what I've done, FMCG others, hotels, agri business, and paperboard, I've taken the summation as a non-cigarette business. Now, this has gone up from what to what? From 58.59% to 59.71%. So, over a period of 5 years, again, the revenue has barely increased by 1%. Obviously, it has to be that, right? So, I don't see that they are moving from cigarettes to non-cigarette in a big way. The differentiator is barely 1%. But also, let's have a look at the profitability numbers. Profitability, you will definitely see that from cigarette business, it has gone down from 83.5% to 78.47%. What profitability? Contribution of cigarette segment to the overall profitability of the company, that has gone down from 83.5% to 78.47%, and non-cigarette has gone up from 16.5% to 21.53%. So shade better for profitability perspective, not that great from the revenue perspective. Ultimately, let's also talk about the profit margins generated by each business. Right now, if you see here, cigarettes is again has been a consistent big chunk for ITC above 60% throughout. Of course, it has been slowly and steadily decreasing from 70.7% to 62.63%. Happy about hotels though. I'm not going to consider FY21 and Q3 FY21 and Q3 FY22. Reason being very simple, Corona. But FY20 it was 15.76% profit margin, which has jumped up to 27.32%. That is a very good jump, I must say. And even FMCG others has jumped from 3.62 3.26% to 8.29%. I hope you have understood about this fundamentals in a simple way. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want me to do the fundamental analysis of any other company, please let me know in the comment section below. But it has to be a fundamentally strong company. Then only I would love to do the analysis and share it with you all. If you did love this, don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. Till then, take care. Jai Hind. Bye bye.